Imagine stepping into a small English cottage where the walls are soft cream, the windows are framed with ivy, and the air smells faintly of linen and chamomile tea. In this room, a soft sage green gingham pattern weaves through the space like a quiet whisper of comfort, tying together the mismatched china, the worn armchair, and the bookshelf stacked with dog-eared novels. This is the heart of Cottagecore, a home that feels lived in, romantic, and deeply personal, where every corner invites you to pause and breathe. Sage Green speaks in hushed tones, neither too bold nor too shy, pairing effortlessly with bleached woods, hand-thrown pottery, and faded floral wallpapers. Against this backdrop, the tiny check of the gingham becomes a delicate rhythm, like the ticking of a cuckoo clock or the turning of pages in a well-loved book. The colors feel gentle enough for a morning cup of tea, yet rich enough to carry the warmth of an evening by the fire. If you're watching this, you likely dream of a home that feels like a storybook. Soft light streaming through lace curtains, a basket of fresh linen, and a dining table set for a quiet lunch under the low English sky. In this video, we'll walk you through how to wrap your own space in sage green gingham, from the kitchen to the bedroom, on a budget, with easy DIYs you can recreate step by step. If you love slow living, cozy spaces, and timeless decor, don't forget to subscribe to Dreamy Decor, like this video, and comment your favorite color pairing with sage green. Sage green gingham feels like a quiet promise of comfort, as if the fabric itself remembers centuries of English picnics, tea-time linens, and sun-drenched cottages with ivy-clad walls. Each tiny square is a tiny echo of handmade textiles, of seamstresses stitching by lamplight, a tablecloth spread across wobbly farmhouse tables. What makes gingham so special is its gentle balance between order and whimsy. The neat check guides the eye, while the soft sage hue wraps everything in a soothing embrace. Gingham is more than just a print, it's a mood. It invites you to slow down, to set a table for one, to wrap a cushion around a worn chair, to make a space that feels like a slow Sunday afternoon. Sage green flows through this cottage like a quiet breath, mingling with cream walls, pale wood furniture, and soft linen drapes to create a palette that feels both earthy and elegant. It sits somewhere between shadow and sunlight, carrying the green of an English garden after a light rain, yet never overwhelming the room with drama. The magic happens when sage meets its closest allies, warm whites, wheat-colored woods, and the faint blush of faded pinks or ochres in ceramics and textiles. These colors don't compete, they embrace. This palette is a promise that your home can feel like a sanctuary without being perfume shelf bright or coldly modern. Imagine your kitchen in soft pastel light, where sage green gingham wraps around windows like a gentle hug, framing herb pots on the sill and the soft blur of a leafy garden beyond. The checkered pattern feels both crisp and cozy, grounding the room without stealing the spotlight from the worn wooden table or the mismatched mugs drying on a rack. On the counter, a small cluster of linen napkins in the same sage green gingham sits beside a ceramic jug and a bowl of lemons, adding a subtle echo of the pattern without repetition. The color dances with the pale cabinets and cream tiles, making the space feel fresh and spring-like, like the first day of a long holiday in the English countryside. This is where gingham becomes practical magic. Cafe curtains, a fabric runner on the table, or a small framed apron made from the same fabric. The dining table becomes the heart of this sage green gingham cottage, where a soft checkered cloth spreads across the wood like a quiet invitation to sit, linger, and share. The squares are gentle, not loud, allowing the natural grain of the table and the warmth of the chairs to remain the stars of the scene. Around the table, cream or oat-colored dishes, a small jug of seasonal flowers, and linen napkins in the same sage gingham create a soft, layered look that feels special without being stiff. The color palette, muted greens, creams, and faint hints of blush or terracotta, makes the table feel like a page from a vintage storybook, the kind of setting where afternoon tea lasts for hours and every conversation feels unhurried. This is where you can play with tone and texture. A full-length tablecloth, a runner paired with neutral napkins, or even a small gingham centerpiece made of folded fabric. The bedroom unfolds like a soft breath, where sage green gingham drapes over the bed like a whispered lullaby, blending the crisp geometry of the check with the rounded curves of a white iron or painted wood frame. The color feels grounding yet airy, like lying beneath the canopy of an old English garden, where the leaves filter the light into gentle green shadows. Layered over cream quilts and linen throws, the gingham adds just enough visual interest to keep the eye wandering gently across the space without crowding the mind. A small stack of vintage books, a wicker basket of folded clothes, and a candle on the bedside table complete the scene, each object catching the soft pastel light and feeling like a still from a favorite film. This is where gingham becomes a comfort ritual. A duvet cover, a checkered bed skirt, or a single gingham pillow nestled among softer neutrals. The living room feels like a folded-in hug, where sage green gingham cushions rest on a cream linen sofa like scattered leaves from a quiet garden. The pattern adds gentle movement to the space, drawing the eye from one square to the next without ever feeling loud or busy. Around it, a knitted throw, a wicker basket by the hearth, and a small stack of vintage books complete the scene, inviting you to sink in, pull the blanket over your legs, and let the day soften around you. Light drifts through lace curtains, catching the texture of the gingham fabric and highlighting the weave of the linen and the soft fuzz of the wool throw. The color palette, soft sage, warm cream, and pale wood, feels like a slow Sunday afternoon turned into a room where even the air seems to move more slowly. This is where gingham becomes a cozy anchor, a few well-placed cushions, a gingham-trimmed footstool, or a small throw draped over the arm of the sofa. The bathroom feels like a quiet pause in a storybook, where sage green gingham towels hang neatly beside a cream linen curtain, as if each fold were stitched by hand for a country cottage. The color softens the edges of the room, turning the simple fixtures into gentle shapes that catch the light and invite calm. Cream walls meet pale wood shelves holding ceramic jars, a stack of folded towels, and small brass tray with a candle, all bathed in soft morning light from a small window. The gingham pattern reads like a whisper across the towels and a tiny strip of fabric along the window, never overwhelming the eye, but always present, like a favorite song humming in the background. This is where gingham becomes a simple treat, a checkered towel, a small curtain, or a tiny linen strip wrapped around a soap dispenser. The windows become the quiet storytellers of this cottage, where sage green gingham curtains gather softly at either side like folded letters waiting to be read. The fabric sways in the gentle breeze, catching the sunlight and casting a soft, checkered shadow across the wooden floor, as if the room itself is breathing in rhythm with the garden outside. Each pane is framed by a narrow band of gingham, linking the indoors and outdoors in a single gentle gesture. Beyond the glass, leaves flutter, a stone path winds, and the sky shifts from pale blue to soft gold, all filtered through the soft green squares. The window feels like a painting that never stops changing, with the gingham acting as a quiet border that frames every passing moment. This is where gingham becomes magic in motion. Cafe curtains, full-length drapes, or a tiny gingham valance above a small window. The true heart of this cottage beats in the handmade details, where a length of sage green gingham transforms into a stack of simple projects that feel as personal as a love letter. A folded fabric runner for the table, a small cushion sewn for the window seat, or a tiny patchwork mat for the bedside, each piece carries the quiet pride of something made with care, not just bought. Even without a sewing machine, a few gingham rectangles pinned and folded can become napkin rings, a tea cozy lined with cotton, or a simple apron hung by the sink. The fabric's forgiving check makes it easy to cut and align, so raw edges and simple stitches feel charming rather than messy. This is where you can make the palette your own, cutting from a remnant bolt, mixing sage green with a second soft color, or adding a thin lace trim along the edge. The beauty of sage green gingham in a cottagecore home is that it doesn't ask for a fortune, just a little intention. A small bolt of fabric can stretch into napkins, cushion covers, and a simple window valance, transforming the space without emptying the wallet. Instead of chasing perfect sets, this cottage leans into the charm of mismatched pieces. A gingham tablecloth paired with cream plates from a thrift shop, a secondhand wicker basket lined with a sage green linen sheet turned into a makeshift runner. This is where budget-friendly tips live, mixing new gingham accents with vintage finds, using fabric remnants for small projects, and repurposing old linens into napkins or table runners. As the light softens toward evening, this sage green gingham cottage settles into a quiet hush, each room carrying the gentle rhythm of the checkered fabric like a lullaby. The kitchen still smells faintly of tea and herbs, the bedroom feels wrapped in soft linen calm, and the living room holds the warmth of a half-finished book and a folded blanket. In every corner, the gingham pattern whispers that beauty doesn't need drama, just a little care, a few thoughtful choices, and the courage to slow down. Through this video, we've walked from the windows to the bed, the table to the bathroom, showing how a single soft pastel palette can turn your home into a cottagecore haven without breaking the bank. If you enjoyed this gentle journey through Sage Green Gingham for cottagecore homes, please subscribe to Dreamy Decor, like this video, and comment below which room you'd bring Sage Green Gingham into first and what color you'd pair it with, soft pink, warm terracotta, or pale blue. Your thoughts help us create more dreamy, budget-friendly decor stories just for you.